So this week, in honor of the new year and 2026 starting off, we're going to talk about what's in and what's out for 2026 for buyers, sellers, and housing in general. And it's going to be a three-part series starting today with buyers. So let's get straight to it. Starting with buyers, what's in? Shopping with a long-term hold mindset. That means you're not shopping thinking that you're going to turn around and sell this house in 1, 2, or 3 years. Think long-term for your purchase. Tracking micro local pricing behavior rather than what you're seeing in the headlines. That's because what you're seeing in the headlines usually has very little to do with what's happening right where you are. Touring neighborhoods at non-peak times to see what it's all about is another great idea for buyers in 2026. Separating emotional from financial, yes. That means don't get caught up in the emotion of the house. Pay attention to other specifics, including, and most importantly, the financial basis of purchasing the house. Don't be wooed by everything. Keep a straight and steady head. Knowing insurance and utility costs before you make your offer is another smart idea and very in for 2026. And finally, prioritizing resale friction over aesthetics. What do I mean by that? Well, think location, location, location. That's a big one. The house is amazing, it's gorgeous, it's stunning, and it backs to the freeway, right? That's a tough one. So if that's going to be your choice, remember that later on, you're probably going to have trouble selling that house. That's friction. Another one could be buying the most over-improved house in the neighborhood, which is always going to have difficulty pricing when you sell it down the road. All right, what's out for buyers in 2026? Well, only touring perfect homes. Give another home a shot that might not seem so perfect, but you might be very surprised when you tour it in person. So online can be very different than in real life. So give some of those not so sure houses a chance at walking through them. Relying solely on Zillow payment estimates. That's because you might have great lending resources. We certainly have great lending resources who can find creative ways to make a payment that's more comfortable for you. Ignoring seller motivation cues is also very out for 2025. That home that's been sitting on the market for 105 days, there's probably nothing wrong with it. And you will probably find a seller who's extremely motivated and waiting for just the right buyer to come to the house. That's where a deal can be made. Assuming refinancing will fix it later is a big out for 2026. Look, when you purchase your home and you lock in that payment, you need to think of that payment as your forever payment and be prepared for it that way. It's a bonus if you're able to refinance down the road into a more comfortable or a better payment for your financial situation. Overvaluing cosmetic updates is another one where you're putting emotion over taking a look at the financial aspect and the value factor of the home. Waiting for the perfect timing, well, that's out for 2026. That's always been out, but more than ever, if you've been waiting for the market to drop, you need to stop that habit for 2026. And finally, choosing an agent by social media follower count. Look, there are a lot of great agents out there that don't get into posting on social media every time they do something. So keep in mind, their track record is not just what you see on Instagram. All right, for the bonus, let's talk about what's going to happen in real estate in general in 2026. So interest rates, we expect them to hover right around the low 6% range, possibly dropping into the high 5s towards the end of the year. Next up, steady but moderate appreciation between 1 and 4%. That's what we like to see because that means we're in a stable market. That's a good thing for real estate. A moderate increase in inventory as buyers and sellers who are going to be buyers once they sell, get more comfortable in today's interest rate environment and are driven more by a need to do something in real estate over the interest rate. Followed by that would be a modest increase in total sales as a result of those buyers and sellers finally stepping into the market. Overall, don't expect a huge change in 2026, but don't expect anything negative either, as there's nothing setting us up for a further downturn or falling prices. We are still at incredibly low levels of inventory, and that's still going to take a long time to come back to normal levels. Have we even seen normal levels since before COVID? We really haven't. So, as always, I'm here for questions on any and all of it. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Take care.